Hey guys, welcome back. It's Mr. Irwin bringing you today's math lesson. You see it on the screen. It is time to write some equations. Now, writing an equation from a situation is a three-step process. Let's talk about those steps first, and then we'll put them into practice. So if you have a word problem and you are going to write an equation to represent the scenario given in the word problem and to ultimately use that equation to solve the word problem, the first thing you need to do is identify what is the variable of the scenario. And to do that, ask yourself the question, what don't we know? What is being asked? What are we trying to figure out? And a great strategy for identifying the variable is to find the question of the word problem. Whatever it is asking for will be represented by a variable because it is what we don't know in the situation. Once we've identified the variable, determine the outcome of the scenario. What is the result? What are we going to set the equation equal to? What is being compared in the scenario? Once you have the outcome and you've set your equation equal to that value, the final step then is to write the rest of the equation. And to do that, we need to ask ourselves, what is happening? What calculation is occurring with the variable in order to calculate that outcome or that total we set the equation equal to? So let's put these three steps into practice. Here's our first example. It says each cookie in a jar contains 165 calories. If Edward consumes 825 calories, how many cookies did he eat? We want to write an equation to solve the problem. So step one, identify the variable. Find the unknown. What is the question asking? And right here is our question, how many cookies? So we don't know how many cookies Edward ate. So the number of cookies he eats will be our variable. And we're going to declare that variable using a let statement. So we're going to say let, and we can pick any variable in the world to represent these cookies. I'm just going to do C for cookies. Let C equal the number of cookies eaten by Edward. So we know that C will represent how many cookies Edward eats. Second step, what is the outcome? What is the result? What are we going to set our equation equal to? That occurs right here. Edward consumed 825 calories. So I'm going to set up an equation with my equal sign, and I know the result of my equation is eating 825 calories. So I'm going to set my equation equal to 825. Our final step is to take our variable C, the number of cookies that Edward ate, and determine what mathematical calculation will be used to get a total of 825 calories consumed. I know that each cookie contains 165 calories. So one cookie would be 165 calories. Another cookie is another 165. Another cookie is another 165. So every cookie Edward eats is another 165 calories. Because of that repeated addition, mathematically, our shortcut is to multiply the number of cookies that Edward eats times 165. So we get the equation C times 165 equals 825. Now, let's actually solve this problem. To do that, we're going to solve our one-step equation just like we did in a previous lesson. Break your equation into two sides. C is being multiplied by 165. The opposite is to divide by 165. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, do the same thing to the other. Multiplicative inverse leaves me with just C over here. I'm going to drop my equal sign, and now we have a calculation. Grab that trusty calculator if you need to. 825 divided by 165 gives us 5. So the solution is true when C equals 5. Remember, C is the number of cookies that Edward has eaten. So in order to consume 825, Edward would need to eat 5 total cookies. All right, let's do another example. Grab a sheet of paper, work it out with me. In this scenario, it says Harold weighs 58 more pounds than Chelsea. If Harold weighs 122 pounds, how much does Chelsea weigh? Write an equation to solve the problem. Well, from our previous example, step one, identify the variable by finding the unknown. What is the question being asked? And here's our question. How much does Chelsea weigh? So we're going to write a let statement to declare our variable. Let, and I'll choose W for weight. W equal Chelsea's weight. So the variable W represents Chelsea's weight because we do not know right now how much Chelsea weighs. Step 2 in our equation, find the outcome, the result, or the value we are comparing to. In this case, we are comparing Chelsea's weight to Harold's weight, which is 122 pounds. So you're going to take your equation, set it up with your equal sign, and our end result is comparing to Harold's weight of 122 pounds. Now, step 3, mathematically, what are we doing with the variable W to get Harold's weight? Well, I know Harold weighs 58 more pounds than Chelsea. So if I take W, Chelsea's weight, and add 58 to it, Chelsea's weight plus 58 pounds should be exactly the same as Harold's weight of 122 pounds. So our equation is W plus 58 equals 122. If we want to find Chelsea's weight, all we have to do is solve for the variable. We're going to split our equation into two sides. W is being added by 58. The inverse is to subtract 58. Whatever you do to one side, do the same thing to the other. We are left with W equal to, and now I'm going to perform the calculation, 122 minus 58 gives us a solution of 64. So W equals 64, which means Chelsea weighs 64 pounds. All right, I got one scenario for you to try on your own. At a local pizzeria, Tony uses 24 slices of pepperoni on each pizza. During a busy night, Tony used 3,744 slices of pepperoni. How many pizzas did Tony sell? Go ahead, pause the video, write an equation representing this scenario, solve the equation for the appropriate solution, and then begin playing the video again to check to see how you did. All right, let's check your work. Here we go. Step 1, identify our variable by looking at the question. The question is, how many pizzas did Tony make? So let's let P equal pizzas made. Step 2, identify the outcome of our scenario. In the end of the night, Tony used 3,744 slices of pepperoni. So I am setting my equation equal to 3,744. Now, mathematically, what are we doing to the pizzas to get total slices of pepperoni? I know that Tony uses 24 slices on each pizza. So we're going to take our 24 slices. Every pizza uses 24. Each is also a keyword for multiplication. We're going to do 24 slices of pepperoni times the number of pizzas he makes will give us the total number of pepperoni for the night. Now, if we want to solve for how many pizzas Tony made that night, we're going to isolate the variable P. P is being multiplied by 24. The inverse is to divide by 24. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, do the same thing to the other side. We are left with P equal to, grab that calculator for this big calculation, 3,744 divided by 24 gives us the result of 156. The solution P equals 156, and in this scenario, that would mean Tony made 156 pizzas last night. Make sure you complete the independent practice assignment on writing equations. Take a picture of your work and upload that file for submission. See you guys next time.